Hello guys and welcome to today's puzzle. We have a 2550 rated endgame. The best move for white, as you can see on the display, would have been to push the center pawn. That would lead to a draw, but white makes a blunder, and so we end up in our puzzle. Why is it king to c5? King to f4, the best move for black, and how can we assess this position to draw the conclusion that that is the winning move for black? The reason white might have concluded that king to e2 is the best move, it's because in order for black to convert his f pawn first, he needed his king on g2, as you saw in the initial drawing. G2 is the key square that he needs to take control of in order to support the promotion of his own pawn. If black had the king on g2 in the initial position and he was to move, there was no way white could stop him. That might have been the logic that white used in this game. Now, can black still promote this pawn? If he tries king to g3, white will move king to f1 and prevent that pawn. As well, I consider the move pawn to c5 and calculate, see what happens if we try pawn to c5, but that would be negative for black, because after pawn to c5, white will push the pawn. We cannot take. If we take now with a pawn, the black pawn captures, we lose the endgame, and it's a scenario that we studied last week. Is the obstacle in the path of the king, because the c white pawn will travel to c8, and it's travel in the pawn on the pawns travel to the square c8. Our king has his own pawn on f5 as an obstacle, and we will not be able to reach in time, even if we are in the conversion square at the moment. The square of the white pawn, obviously it's c4, g4, g8, c8, but again the black pawn on f5, it's an obstacle in the path of the king, and yeah, we won't be able to reach in time the white pawn and prevent the conversion. It's suggested by the engine to move the king to f, but then white gets a pass protected free pawn, and fighting against that will be a nightmare, because white will manage to capture our f pawn, and simply we cannot move our king to capture the c4 pawn, because the d it's transforming, so that would be a very bad idea. That's the reason why the move pawn to c5 doesn't work for black. There's nothing left for black. You cannot convert the f pawn, you cannot push the c pawn. It will be a loss of tempo if we try to move the a file pawn, because even if we move to white can block us, and then we again to move in the best case scenario, yeah. Otherwise white has again the opportunity to push e4, so instead of repeating the position or replaying the position with us to move, we even lose the chance, the tempo that we needed to win. So we give white the chance to draw after pushing the e pawn, d pawn. King to f4 gives black a chance to fight against the central pawns of white. In the puzzle, the engine played d4, and after that it was very easy, because the black king reaches the pawns. Then the engine played d5, and after take, even if he pushes, then there's no way white can fight against the two black pawns. There's no way. He simply lost in this position. Again, the engine captured, and then after this, it's a fight that white is trying to keep by isolating the black king on the edge, but it doesn't have time to capture the black pawn and isolated the black king on the edge of the board. because you can see white doesn't reach in time. If white could have reached now the c2 square, then he would have got a draw, but unfortunately for him it was too late. Let's go with the c5 push. Yeah, and again, white king cannot approach the pawns. If he tries to go middle, to approach the pawns, we go for the white pawn. And even if he tries to defend, the structure of the pawns, you remember, is the case scenario with the square of the floating square of the pawns. More than that, now the black king is protecting the backwards pawn. It's nothing that white can do. Once he reaches this state of matter, the white king, it will end up in a Zugzwang later, and even if he tries to approach the d pawn, the f pawn will simply convert and therefore win the endgame. I hope you guys find this guidance helpful, and you when you face an endgame with a similar pattern, you'll be able to assess and make the correct decisions. See you next time.